So for whatever reason, I can't broadcast to
3, smile. One more. 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay.
Penny, did you introduce yourself to all the ladies?
Oh,
That's Mommy Penny. She's been with the pageant for over 30 years.
Yeah.
Testing? All right.
Welcome to our pageant. So, any questions, I'm happy to help you. And welcome to our pageant. It's the best pageant in the whole world.
That's a great
And
start.
thanks to Rose Chung, she asked me to be pageant mommy, so I love it ever since. So thank you for coming and enjoy the experience.
Thank
Best
you.
pageant in the whole world.
That's a great
And
start.
thanks to Rose Chung, she asked me to be pageant mommy, so I love it ever since. So thank you for coming and enjoy the experience.
Thank you.
Best pageant in the world.
All right, and I'm just going to introduce who we have here. Right here to my right, to your left, we have Rose Chung. She's the founder of the Miss Asia Global Pageant from 1985. Right next to her, we have Vincent Ma. He is the president of the Miss Asia Global Pageant, and he's been serving with us since 2014, I believe, as president. He's been with the pageant much longer than that, but that's when he started using his lot of experience in that capacity. Right next to Vincent, we have Trisha. She is the current 2017 Miss Asian Global. She is a UC Berkeley alumni. And we have right over next to her, my very far end over there, is Savannah Pham. She is a doctor graduate from Stanford and going on to pursue her PhD at Texas. So congratulations on that, Savannah. All right, so the way it works is I'm going to be asking questions, and I'm going to pass this. We only have one microphone, so I'm just going to pass it back and forth, and then go through some of the other questions here. But you doing okay over there? All right. So, and then we have some questions I'm going to ask. But you guys, any questions you guys want to ask, definitely feel free. Probably toward the end we'll have some time for questions as well too, and also going to be taking questions from anyone online as well. So, you guys ready? You guys ready? Ready? Okay, I'm going to guess a yes. All right. So here's my first question, which I think is probably a good foundation question and this is mainly for Rose, and Vincent can jump in here if he wants to. But Rose, can you tell me a little bit about the history? How did pageant get started? How old is it, and what's the mission behind it? What is the basic foundation of the pageant's vision?
I started the Miss Asian California pageant in 1985. I was Miss Chinatown, USA, and I just loved the experience so much that I want to share it with others. In the past it was very simple, but now it has evolved, and it's like I have come to realize that it's the true mission of Miss Asian Global Pageant is for women empowerment and to help you in your personal journey for your career, and also to be among other fabulous delegates.
We're trying to keep our responses to 30 seconds. Feel free to ask us questions later.
Thank you, Rose. And I'm going to ask a question over here to Vincent. Vincent, what is your vision, your mission, since you've taken on the mantle of presidency, and what are some of the things that you're most happy and proud of? You've seen a lot of our delegates evolve from 2014 until today.
Very good question. First of all, definitely Rose Chung, I have a lot to be grateful for. First of all, she trusts me to kind of take over in 2014, but one of the things that I definitely wanted to enhance is creating a nonprofit organization called Asian American Foundation, giving our sponsors an opportunity to get a write-off, but at the same time to get our name out there. But our mission has always been about empowering women, giving back in terms of education and community. And so it's been a blessing to see how it expanded. And for the women that's been involved, I'm just so proud of everyone that have been involved in the pageant. So I think that's pretty much it.
I just want to say we do have a core staff who has been helping us for 30 years, about 10 of them, and they just come back year after year. So we really have a dedicated staff.
Thank you, Vincent. Thank you, Rose. Thank you. I want to ask some questions now to Trisha and Savannah there as past delegates, applicants, and then into court members, and what they're coming toward the end of the reign now. In about, I would say, probably 3 more months, you'll be crowning your successors. One of these lovely young ladies in front of us right here. So, Savannah and Trisha, what was your experience like in the Miss Asian Global experience from everything you've done so far?
So my personal experience so far has really been nothing short of wonderful. I mean, I came into this pageant and I wanted to, I expected, friendship and the experience since I've done pageants before. But I guess after going through Pageant Week and after going through all these events, I actually came out with so much more than that. And I've grown as a woman, as an individual, as a pageant girl, as a student, as everything through this experience, and it's just a variety of things, right? So you're in store for a lot of surprises, good surprises, and expect to improve upon yourself in many aspects.
I think I can really only echo what Tricia says and just add to the fact that this pageant really is about empowering women and creating leaders in the Bay Area and beyond. And I think I came into that knowing that this was a mission, but after Pageant Week, after all the events that we've done, I feel like Rose and Vincent really do value that, and they're really into building character for us, and I think it's really important that they value it so much because you can see it in everything that we do.
Thank you. Now I've heard a lot about Pageant Week, so this is a question for all four of you. What exactly is Pageant Week from the perspective of the organizers as well as the delegates and court members? What exactly is that whole magic moment called Pageant Week?
Well, among the staff, that's what we live for, for 30 years, and it's just like after working for months and months, hours and hours, and getting to know the delegates, everyone's working really hard. A lot of times something may not go right. It's just like a wedding, but we always wing it, we always make it happen. And I just have such a great team helping me. They are really wonderful.
It's fun.
I think for the delegates, it's definitely a very nerve-wracking experience, but I think it's also one of the best parts of pageant because we're in a hotel together for a week, we're spending 24 hours with each other, doing different events like arguing to visit Facebook, and then also spending the rest of the night just training and preparing for Pageant Week. So while it can be very tiring, we're all really in it together, and that's, I think, when I felt like I bonded the most with the rest of the pageant sisters.
So Pageant Week for me, let's see. I would say it would be one of the most challenging things you will ever do in your life, but when you're working on a really difficult project at school or at work, and you just want to pull your hair out and you just have so many things to do, you're going crazy, but you don't care because you love it. And that's what Pageant Week is, or was to me. You're not going to get any sleep, and you're just going to be tired, your feet are going to just be horrible, but at the end of the day, you're like, wow, I'm pulling through it, and I'm getting better each day of Pageant Week, and the experience with my sisters and the staff, it's something you don't really experience any other day.
I just want to say, we do give you time to sleep, but the girls don't want to sleep.
Time. Just kidding.
We definitely want you guys to sleep. The staff won't get much sleep, but the delegates, we try to get them to bed in a decent time. Okay, so Pageant Week ends with the culmination of the pageant at the very last day of Pageant Week. So what happens after pageant? What are the things what are some of the community service events that happens within the Asian level throughout the entire year, from the end of pageant night all the way till the next year's pageant? And this is actually a question for everyone here.
Yes, I'm very involved in the Asian community, like the APA Heritage Month celebrations coming up. I get the girls to go to be part of the cultural procession with the Moon Festival and a lot of other charitable organizations. So the Queen and Court members are asked to participate. There are a few events that are mandatory, but we realize that school is first priority, and we work that out with you. But we just want to make the pageant experience really wonderful for our Queen and Court.
The events actually changes every year. A lot of times I get invited to attend. We had an event called SVIF, and we had Draymond Green as a guest. Silicon Valley Lions. Yeah, it's a Silicon Valley Innovation Entrepreneur Forum. So, of course, anytime they invite me, they invite the court members. So it's a lot of fun. Every year is always different. It's always exciting.
Community service, right? Events. Well, we've gone to so many events, me and Savannah, throughout our reign, and ultimately, the goal of going to these, most of these events are mainly charity galas, and I think we work with so many nonprofit organizations around the Bay Area, and we help promote their cause, and we help fundraise, etc. Like we've worked with, I guess, the local YMCA, Chinatown Youth Center, etc. There's so many, I can't even really name them all, but really it's very rewarding at the end of the day going to these events.
And I think just to echo what Rose said, I really appreciate the fact that this pageant recognizes the fact that many of us are students or working full-time, and I really appreciated the fact that I was allowed to do service events around my university and just at school as an affiliate of the Miss Asian America, Miss Asian Global pageant, and I just liked having that flexibility, being able to serve the community, but also on my own schedule, so I wasn't stressed all the time.
Okay, great, thank you. So there have been some questions. For many potential applicants, this could be their first pageant, and they've asked, what if I don't have any pageant experience? What if I have no clue what a pageant entails? Is that the disadvantage for me? Would I be even eligible to consider this?
I love that our pageant winners have been people who have never joined a pageant before. Within the last 5 years, I think we had a couple of girls who never did pageants before. And also too, once you join our pageant, there's a likelihood you'll catch the pageant bug and you want to join another pageant and get a crown in another pageant. And you'll meet other girls and you could ask them about their past experience and stuff. So that's that.
I think I'm pretty much of a stat guy, and what I mean by that is that I actually pretty much know which girls who have no pageant experience who come in, whether they win or lose. The first person I'm thinking of right now is a nice girl named Fala Chen. She's an international superstar, but when she first came in, absolutely no pageant experience. But on the night of the pageant, she just shined. It was amazing. And it's not just her, there's many more of those girls that I've seen, and I like the fact that it definitely comes down to our training, Once they get the confidence and they go out there, it's amazing. It's amazing to watch.
I think it's really up to you and your mindset about it and your drive, whether or not you'll let yourself, I wouldn't say fail, but not make the most out of the experience or thrive through it, because we all start from somewhere, right? Just like riding a bike. And for me, I started somewhere. My first pageant, I didn't win anything, but the experience was just so amazing that I caught the pageant bug, and I just kept going and going to where I am now. And really just take all the training that you get from the week, and you put that in this big ball, and you release it on pageant night, really. So.
I think the program definitely focuses on training everyone so that we're all at the same level. We get trained in how we block, how we present ourselves on stage, how to answer questions and things like that. And also you'll find that your sisters are extremely supportive. So Trisha, for example, was actually one of the most supportive people, and she decided that since she had experience before, that she would host her own training sessions, and she would help us block. And I think it just goes to show you that we're not cutthroat or super competitive. We're all here to support each other and empower each other.
Well, just to add to that, it's because you're competing against yourself, meaning you're competing against your former past self to get better. Don't really see it as competing next to this girl, so I have to do better. It's really just all about you and self-improvement.
Thank you so much. Those are great answers. I also have some more questions that came up. There is a talk about an event called Imagine Talks. So what exactly is Imagine Talks, and how is that unique to Miss Asian Global's year-round mission and events that it puts on?
I'm really proud of Imagine Talks because it was started by alumni from the pageant, and we are imitating TED Talks. It is what it is, but delegates from our pageant have the opportunity to coordinate it. They do the MC, or they might be the speaker or something. So I think that that's really a great opportunity for your personal development, public speaking, and you get personal training from Francis. So you're going to look really smart, intelligent, and an expert.
You know, I'm just going to say real quickly, Imagine Talk kind of came about in 2014. Emma Marriott, who won the Miss Asian Global, she had an amazing talk about women in STEM. It was only like 2 minutes long, and I wanted to hear more, and that's probably how it came about, because I wanted to get her to speak more to different forums and different conferences, and it just wasn't, you know, good enough. So we decided, let's just do our own Imagine Talk and embrace all females together.
So I think that Imagine Talks, stemming from this very organization, the main point is to basically showcase our girls' inner beauty, inner character, inner talent, and their intelligence, rather than just mere physical appearance. And so I was very honored to be one of the speakers this year. Thank you, Francis. And it was such a, I guess, humbling opportunity for me to share my story and my journey, and got to hear other speakers as well. And I think Imagine Talks comes down to women empowerment, social impact, and entrepreneurship, and beyond. So right now we're actually creating Imagine Talks Forum as well. So this was an idea that I had to kind of promote it a bit more, since Imagine Talks is once a year. And it's going to be more like a shorter panel event that I'm very excited to share with you all. So at 10 on May 9th, I'll let you know, ask me.
Thank you so much for that. So we also have some more questions. Here's a question that someone's asked. What are some of the important dates that are leading up from now up until pageant night? What are some dates that they should probably keep in mind or important that are critical for the entire process?
Okay, one big event is, one date, is April 30th. That's the last day to register. Also, because you guys are here, the application fee is waived. So just remember this promo code, okay? It's MAG, M-A-G, 33. 33 is our 33 annual Miss Asian Global Pageant, so that's significant of the number. And then MAG, of course, is Miss Asian Global. So MAG 33, enter that, and your $50 fee is waived. Another important 2 dates is we're going to have interviews on April 28th. Now that's 2 days before the deadline. This way, you guys can just, you know, apply early. And then the last interview date is on May 5th. Now we decided to make the interview dates on the 28th. It's going to be somewhere in the Silicon Valley. We'll let you know when you apply. And of course, on May 5th, it will be somewhere around the city. And of course, you will know the location after you apply. Those are the 2 big dates. Can you guys think of them?
Yes, and then if they get accepted, then, you know, there's the press conference, there's workshops and trainings, we'll let you know. Yeah.
Oh yeah, very important. August 4th, okay, that's the pageant night. And when you apply, pretty much you will actually get notified with all the different dates, especially with the press conference and so on. But pageant week is the week, so August 4th, we gotta go backwards, right?
Checking in on Tuesday.
Yeah, we'll be checking in on Tuesday.
July 30th, right?
July 30th.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that, those answers. Another question is something people hear, and this is an interesting question. You may not apply to many of the people in the audience right now, but how does one compete in a pageant if they're out of town? How does the training and the scheduling happen with that?
I just want to welcome the people who are watching from afar, but we'll be sending you videos of our rehearsals, so you won't be missing anything. When we have training on the dances and stuff, we'll send you the video of it. And then there's also the Facebook group. So you get to know everyone. By the time you get to San Francisco, you already know everyone.
We have a great team. Alex and Francis here are actually part of the remote team. I don't know if we actually have a name, but anyway, they record everything. So that way, anyone outside of the California area are not able to come in, they can actually view and watch and chime in. And you know, I actually had girls who just got along and they haven't even met, right? In a group. So it's pretty amazing with technology and everything. So.
And they're welcome to fly in too.
Yeah, you guys can also fly in as well. I mean, we had a delegate who flew from Florida just to attend the trainings. She was dedicated.
Thank you so much. All right, another question there is, how do you come about with what area you can represent? So if you go to school here in the Bay Area, San Francisco, but you're from, say, Tokyo or Japan or Canada or Vietnam, how does one decide what region or ethnicity or ethnic group they represent?
All right, so let's say that you're from Japan and you decide to go to school here. The question is, you know, should I represent California or should I represent Tokyo? It's really up to you how you guys want to represent.
There's a time residency.
There's a time residence requirement. I believe we wrote that down. Yeah. I don't have it memorized.
We don't have it right off. Yeah.
But yeah, we have rules for everything, and you just have to find out what you qualify. Of course, when you apply and you get accepted, you will have access to that.
I'm just curious to know which area that you represented.
So I'm actually from Southern California, but I go to school out here. I decided to represent my town in Southern California. I'm also multi-ethnic, so I'm Vietnamese and Cambodian, but during my ethnic costume, I decided to represent the Vietnamese culture.
So I'm originally from Las Vegas, my hometown, and I moved out here for UC Berkeley, but I decided to represent San Francisco instead of Vegas just because it's something that I felt I resonated with more. And honestly, it really just comes down to you. If you fall into the requirements and you still have a choice, it's whatever, you know, your heart desires, sort of thing. And what she said too, I'm multi-ethnic, so I'm Filipino and Chinese, and you can represent, you know, you put that in your application, and it's up to you to decide which national costume.
Great question. Any other questions?
I do want to mention something about that.
On the ethnicity and stuff, we do accept by, like, you know, having diverse ethnic groups from different regions and stuff. So if you're applying and we've never had a Russian, highly likely, if you're qualified, the Russian will be accepted over another ethnicity that we have a lot of. Because I think it's a better experience for the delegates to learn about another's culture.
Thank you, Rose. Another one, this has come out. Is the talent portion important? Is it required? What exactly is the talent portion? How does that play into the whole pageant?
You know what, I kind of think that it really isn't, because the first 3 scores are turned into to be tabulated to see who's the finalists. And then the talent, you know, comes on. So if you're a finalist and you did a talent, the judges will of course think, you know, like, oh, she has another aspect of herself. And then if you're, so then if you're a finalist and you did a talent, it would help in that way, but it won't help you get into the top 10 finalists. But when they judge that time, it's all your Q&A that really, you know, is important.
Yeah, just to clarify really simply, talent is optional. Okay.
So from my experience, talent doesn't necessarily help you nor hurt you. So it's something that you can win, like Best in Talent or Miss Talent. And if you want to share with the audience or the judges a part of yourself, then feel free. But don't also feel bad if you don't have a talent, like me. and she's not too, so.
And we do take everything into consideration too. We're gonna look, if you submit your application, you put in this talent and like you're an Olympian performer, we're gonna maybe select you over someone who, you know, so we look at the whole picture. But you don't have to submit your talent audition when you apply.
So talent essentially is optional, it's not part of the overall score, it's a separate category itself. And as we've seen, if I'm not mistaken, neither Tricia nor Savannah did talent, and they came out as the top two. So talent, again, is completely optional, and it's not part of the overall final scoring. Okay. So roughly, what is the recommended time commitment up until a pageant night, and what is the mandatory time commitment? So obviously, we have so many events that are recommended but not mandatory, and then obviously things like pageant week is mandatory. So what is the time commitment like?
Well, we have about 5 workshops, and if you live in the Bay Area, it's mandatory that you attend. But if you're going to go on vacation or something, go on your vacation and skip, you know, a workshop. We want you to come. We want you to have camaraderie with the other delegates. So it's not optional, like, you know, like skipping a class. Because we do offer a lot of important information during these workshops and trainings to help you. Yeah.
During the orientation, the delegate orientation, we'll actually give you some time commitments laid out.
Thank you. Also, some of the questions we've done here too. So, what exactly are sponsorships? What exactly is the overall cost I need to have on the side here in case that comes up for me to raise? Just what are the things that I need to make sure that I can prepare for as I'm getting ready to seriously consider this?
Okay, sponsorship. Before the president, I was actually the vice president of the sponsorship and marketing. Really, the sponsorship is optional, but it's there to help you. Okay, and I've been training delegates for over, I don't know, maybe 20 years now. And we came up with a really great system. So anyone that's interested, okay, we're going to do an orientation. I'm going to help you find sponsors. I'm going to train you guys. And okay, so the package, you're going to raise $1,500. Now, anything more than that, it actually is going to help you. So actually, the first thing you do is that it's going to help pay for the cost. So just to give you an idea without really talking a little too much, I have 2 delegates who raise, well, I would say a little over 40K. And they were able to get back 5,000 to 6,000, 7,000, and they pay for everything, you know, just to give you an idea.
I have to say that's extraordinary, so I don't want to scare everyone. The registration fee is $1,000. If you get a sponsor, it's $1,500, but you'll get $500 back. So in other words, your registration fee is cut in half. And I want to ask, did you guys get sponsors? I don't even know. Did you guys get sponsors? No, don't let that encourage you guys not to get sponsors, but they tried, but they didn't. But, you know, yeah. But thank you.
I just want to mention something. One of the trainings that deals with sponsorship has nothing to do with sponsorship. I know that may sound kind of interesting, but it's a marketing information that I can't wait to actually share when you guys do get accepted. This information will actually help you in life. So just to give you an idea of what I do for a living, I'm an entrepreneur as well as an engineer, and some of the information that I'm going to be teaching you guys during the delegate orientation is going to help you. Okay?
I just wanted to add, I guess, the other costs that they didn't talk about, which just means like, you know, your gown, your national costume, swimsuit, etc. And because, you know, it can add up, and I want to let you know that you don't have to get the most expensive gown, and you don't have to spend that much in order to, you know, win a title. Really, whatever looks great on you, it doesn't have to be like $4 grand. Just really keep that in mind. It's not about the cost, and it's also, you know, wear the gown, don't let the gown wear you. So.
And think about borrowing from others. Savannah, did
Yeah.
you say something?
So we had, basically it was $1,000 registration fee, and if you get a sponsorship of $1,500 from someone sponsoring production, $500 goes back into your pocket, so it's half the cost of what it was before. So that $50,000 is not additional money coming out of you, it's from someone who sponsors you, and then you get a third of that back.
We're also a non-profit organization, so anyone that sponsors you is actually also a tax write-off. So we're a 501c3.
Thank you. Another question is, what exactly is a platform? And why is that significant to Ms. Asian Global experience, and what exactly was the mission behind that?
So the platform, I think, is a really big part of the fact that, again, we're looking for delegates and representatives who are able to articulate what they're passionate about and what their mission is. So each of us comes up with a platform, a cause that we care about, and a cause that we're willing to work towards once we're in court, once we have a title. So for me personally, my platform is about Asian Americans and mental health and raising awareness, especially for suicide prevention, because that's something that I do personally and something that I wanted to bring to the broader community. And I think being a part of this pageant gives you a really great platform for being able to access the community and be able to talk about and do a lot of things for a cause that you care about.
Yeah, I mean, Savannah's platform was really incredible, and just the work that she does and how she talked about it, so kudos. And also, your platform has to be you. Don't just choose a platform just because it sounds good and you have no way in connecting with it, because judges are going to ask you in your interview and you have to speak on it on stage. So, you know, you don't want to be caught in that, oh, I don't really know much about Alzheimer's or something, I just chose it because it sounds good. Any platform can be your platform as long as it means something to you. My platform was actually helping and empowering homeless youth, just because I resonated with it personally. And so it helped me really do well with my interview, because it helped me become natural about talking about it. So just keep that in mind.
Did you have a question, Quinn? Right there.
Yeah, it was about sponsorships. So just to confirm, we raise sponsors, but we don't submit it to the organization. We keep it, except for the $1,000.
Oh no, it comes to us. Because for the sponsorship package, we'll tell you later, you know, for $1,500, they get like a full page ad, they get tickets to come to the event. So we'll tell you more about it. Some people, you know, they can't find someone who's going to spend $1,500. They'll ask their uncle and say, please give me $300, I got to pay for a dress. We could do that too. Yeah, but they won't get an ad, you know, but we have our sponsorship package. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so we have about 10 minutes left. Does anyone in the audience have any questions that we haven't covered yet at all in our session yet?
Just a curious question. What's one highlight you guys got out of this experience?
I'm just struggling to answer this question because I feel like there are so many good memories that came out of this. And I think the one, I guess two things kind of. So one is like the friendships and relationships that I formed with like pageant sisters, and also just the professional help and advice that I got from staff, which was so meaningful in terms of like me getting into grad school. Francis was a really huge part of that, and I think you get so much support, not just in the pageant world, but beyond that, in your professional life, in your school life.
One highlight for me is that I think you gain a second family, whether it be your sisters or Rose, Vince, Francis, Mommy Penny, everyone. This is a second family that you will have forever. And it doesn't mean that, you know, you have to win to have them as family. Just joining, you know, you already have this bonding experience, and later on down the road, if you ever need anything, you know you can always count on them, especially Francis. So.
Oh, what was that?
You guys have any experience?
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
mention that the people that you see here earlier, they're coming earlier because they're helping to get ready for the reception, and many of them have been previous title holders, and they come back to help. And so I'm going to ask Valerie to come up, Amanda to come up. We're all family already. Yeah, come on up. Yeah, and then Crystal, she's going to run for Miss California. Yeah, so a lot of our delegates, they may have won a title, or maybe not the Queen title, they go on to win other titles. So, okay, yeah, so, and I just want to mention about Amanda. And Jensine too, come on up, because she's with the Silicon Valley Lions Club. Do you have any, and Crystal? I'm just going to ask them to say a little something, and then feel free to ask us. This is really very informal. We are a family.
Hi guys, so I'm Crystal. I believe I am 2016 Best in Cultural Attire. I can't remember what year it was. But one of the highlights for the MAG pageant for me was I finished my ethnic costumes the day before the pageant. So I was up with my pageant sister Liesel. I texted her, I was like, hey, do you have any glue sticks? I was like, out of glue sticks. So she's like, yeah, come over to my room. So I run over to her room, and we had like this night, and another one of our pageant sisters, we just stayed up the whole night working on our ethnic costumes because we're all procrastinators. But it was a really memorable sort of a moment. We're just talking, and we're trying to get our ethnic costumes finished and get it going. And really, you don't have to stay up. Don't be like us and procrastinate. Really do things beforehand. We're just really bad at it. But no, but it's a really, really fun experience, and then you get to meet all these pageant sisters that are friends for the rest of your life. It's a lot of fun. They feed you really, really well. So don't forget to eat, because you're going to lose weight regardless because of the stress. So you can eat. Oh my gosh. No, seriously, everyone just lost weight because we're just so stressed out. That's the best part about it, right? You're stressed out, and you're worried, and you're nervous, and this this crazy emotion just brings everyone together. It's really great. We all cry.
Hi, my name is Jensine. I was the 2014 Miss Entrepreneur, and I guess one of my favorite, or the highlight for me, was really getting to know my pageant sisters. Two of them we're still really good friends now, and I've definitely learned a lot about myself as well. And thank you to Rose and Vince and Francis. They've all been an amazing support in my life as well.
Hi, my name is Amanda Lee. I don't want to date myself, but I competed in 2010, and I was Miss Asian California. I think most of these girls kind of have the same sentiment in terms of really build really strong relationships here, not just with your sisters, but with all the volunteers and the staff. I guess one example that I can really think of that has really helped me in this experience is that I volunteered at an event as Miss Asian California, and I met Mark Benioff, the CEO of Salesforce, and through that I was actually able to get a job there, and I've been working there for 4 years now, and I've been promoted every year. So, I think I'm a good example of kind of showing you to look beyond this pageant. These people are always here to help you. Rose is always one phone call away. Vince is also, and I'm never afraid to just pick up the phone and if I need help or if they need help. It's we have a really strong camaraderie and bond here. So I really challenge you to try to look beyond that with this experience.
Hello, good afternoon, ladies. My name is Valerie. I've been in this pageant for as long as Vince has, because Vince was actually the original escort. That was my escort that year. And so happy 20th anniversary. And I've known Rose since I was oh my God, teenager, and she's always asked me to join the pageant. And one year I just said, you know what, I think this is the year I'm going to do it. And I'm so grateful that I did. That year I won Miss Congeniality. And after the Miss Asian America pageant, I went on to do other pageants and won different titles. And because of Rose, she landed me a job at a TV station, which I was a TV host for almost 10 years. So this is definitely a great networking environment. It helps build your career in the future. It definitely helps with your networking skills. So there's something that you can really learn and to learn from. So this is something that you should really think about. If you have any questions to ask us after this, a little bit more personal, face-to-face, welcome to come up to say hi. Thank you.
Well, I also want to recognize Jamie too.
Jamie, come say hello to everyone. She's a makeup artist for most of the pageants, Miss Chinatown, Miss Tsingtao, and later on I asked her, could you touch up some makeup just in case for today? So yeah, feel free to walk up to her. She's so friendly. And so, anyway, that's part of our family, right? And then Alex. Alex is the head escort of Miss Chinatown USA pageant.
Alex takes care of all of our AV. Thank you. That's my old job. I don't have to worry about it anymore. Excellent. Any questions from anyone else?
I want to recognize Jolanda too. She's one of the older ones.
Stand up, Jolanda.
Jolanda.
Jolanda's been around with the pageant since when? The first, second year?
Second year.
So this is your 32nd anniversary. Happy anniversary, Jolanda.
And she has alterations, magic needles.
And she'll be your seaman.
She helped me.
Hi, I was wondering, how is this pageant different from other pageants?
Oh, since Trisha has joined more pageants.
Okay, I guess I don't know what other pageants you're talking about, but I've actually joined many pageants that are not Asian American centric. So I've joined like Miss Earth United States, I've been competing under the Miss America organization, also Miss Philippines USA, as well as international pageant, Miss Global. And I think that the biggest difference, which I think you have a pretty good idea about now, is the people. I assure you, you won't find any other pageant that will care about you as much as they do. Rose, Vince, Francis, everyone really truly cares about your personal growth, your story, and beyond. And other pageants, I believe that, they do have the same evening gown, swimsuit, and personal development, but at the end of the day, those staff revolve. I guess they change leadership a lot, but as you can see, like we've had Rose since its foundation, we've had Vince, like everyone here, and they stick together in order to have this legacy and tradition. And you really do feel that from day one until you win a title or you give up your title. So that's from my personal experience. Does that make sense?
So I've done 3 pageants, and I think, just to echo what Tricia says, it's really the people that are part of this organization that make it the best, and I think it's been one of the best pageant experiences for me. I have appreciated my other pageants, but I think for me, being in this environment where people really care about us developing professionally and don't just like forget about us after we win a title or after we give up our title, I think there's really people who are constantly checking up on us about our life goals, about where we're going and where our next steps are, and I think that's what I love the most about this pageant.
Any other questions for anyone in the audience?
So I know there's a lot of other titles part of this pageant. Can you explain the criteria for those titles?
There's so many titles, I don't even remember them. Honestly though, it's because we want everyone to have a title, so we say, let's spread the love. That's really what it was. So we found things that are the women's strength. So we have a larger court, so that's what it is. So just look it up on the website in that page and you'll find out the other title holders.
Yeah, when we have the delegate orientation, that information will be revealed.
Okay, to kind of give you, I guess, a better idea, we do have, the main titles that we have, Miss Asian Global and Miss Asian America, and those are the top 2 scores, overall scores from all of your competition stages. And the difference between our titles, if I guess the top 2 have different citizenships, You can only be Miss Asian America if you have U.S. citizenship. So that's one clarification. And then we also have the usual first, second, and third princess or runner-ups. So top 3 are after, after our scores. And then the other titles are going to be based on either merit, community service, talent, because we have so much. And that's really, I guess, some are chosen by the staff because of based on your resume. You'll learn more. But just to give you an idea.
That's good.
Feel free to ask us questions afterwards, yeah.
Any other questions? Those are great questions.
If you have a question now, someone watching online might have that question too, or the girl next to you, so don't be scared.
So just to expand that, thank you, Trisha gave such a great response, but yeah, it was Miss Asian Global, and this may change, but it's very much usually like this. Miss Asian Global, Miss Asian America, first, second, third princess, which the first and second princess always also gets honored title of usually Miss Asian California and Miss Asian San Francisco, depending on the residents. Then we have a special title called Miss STEM, and it goes to the delegate who exhibits the best science, technology, engineering, and mathematics background. Then there's Miss Scholastic, which is everything outside of that, like history, arts, any kind of social sciences or political sciences. We also have Miss Congeniality. That one's very special. That one's, I think Quinn knows this one. Yes, that the judges and staff don't touch that. That is completely voted by the peers. So by the end of pageant week, they decide who they believe is the most congenial. Then we also have Miss Photogenic. That's based on the photograph of your poster that you choose yourself that you want there, and the staff will look at that with photographers and decide which one looks the best from that photographic exhibits. Miss Community Service, the delegate who exhibits the most dedication and contributions to community because that's her passion and love, right? We also have Miss Entrepreneurship, who raises the most money from her all sponsorships. We've had some great, actually Jensine is a great example of being one of our record holder Miss Entrepreneurships. Miss Popularity, who basically brings in the most people cheering her on the night of the pageant and also votes. Miss Social Media, who does amazing, there's something called a Minute Me video, which you guys...
That's a public vote, right? Miss Social Media.
Okay, so basically it's a public vote based on who votes the most online. Am I missing anything?
No, but I do want to mention that during the delegate orientation, we'll actually give you guys an actual, sometimes it varies, sometimes it changes, give you an idea, like sometimes we have Miss Asian Teen, but there's a rule about that, we have to have girls who are...
We have to minimum 5 teenagers.
5 teenagers in order to have Miss Asian Teen. We can't just have 2, and it just defeats the purpose, right? So it all varies. When we have the final head count, we normally select about 25, and you'll actually find out during the delegate orientation.
Oh, Yolanda just reminded us that we also have Best in Ethnic Costume. Crystal had a costume, and it was just a Chinese, Chinese dress, and she spun around and she became a princess in a, transforming costume after she spun around.
It's on YouTube.
You need to talk to Crystal. She has the only transforming costume on stage that I've seen. Oh, one more question before we close up. This is a good one that I got here. How are judges selected and what are criteria is based on in scoring?
Well, you could talk about the scoring, but I'll just say that we like to have a variety of different ethnic groups from different professions. It could be in the entertainment business, it could be a civic leader, or a former beauty queen or something. So, different varieties. So we try to have a balance between male and female.
Okay, so selecting judges is very sensitive. This is something that our committee actually goes through in fine detail, making sure everything is right. And of course, they all signed a waiver, making sure that they're fair. But there's also a system that we actually tell you about and how the scoring is done. For an example, the highest and the lowest scores gets dropped. But that's more technical. You'll find out in the delegate orientation.
I just want to point out also that since I've been in other pageants, the system that they actually have is very transparent. What you guys know is what the judges know, and they make sure of that in terms of scoring. And also they, like what Vin said, you know, they drop the highest and lowest score so you don't really get hurt. And it's tabulated. So some pageants may not do that, and it's hard to be transparent, but this one you can be sure it's fair.
Yeah, we have a tabulator, the Ma Associates, very reputable firm, and they actually do the scoring or the tabulations.
They've done other pageants too. Yeah.
Okay, I think we're going to wrap it up here. It's the past 4. Any questions from the audience? No? Then I encourage you to ask our panel here as many questions as you can, our staff, and of course, our alumni that you met up here. And stay with us for a little bit under an hour, and we will be celebrating our launch party.
And we're going to have, you know, quite a few photographers here. If you want to touch up or something like that, ask Jamie to help you out. So also too, we also have our raffle ticket sales. That's a major thing for us today. Our raffle tickets are $5 each, 5 for $20. And usually our guests are usually generous. You know, 50% of the guests buy. If you want to volunteer to help with that, selling raffle tickets, we have a contest today, and it is that whoever sells the most raffle tickets will get one of the display monster headphones. We already have staff who are... Yeah, you count. Yeah, whoever, we only have 8 people who can sell raffle tickets. So whoever sells the most will get the monster headphone.
Oh, the prizes are nice. You don't have to look in the back. These are the latest monster headphones. There's one that's called the Monster Rave Box. It's like the biggest boom box, you know, Bluetooth. It's pretty cool. Also, we have a TV that's donated by Vince Aguilera. I believe if my partner's here, we might donate some Snow Crave. I don't know if you guys like dessert. Taiwanese shaped snow, we're going to be donating as well. And some really cool prizes. I think Jen Chung also has a basket there as well. Let me just make a quick announcement. So I know that this is a 2-hour event. When a lot of people get, it's going to be exciting. And after 7 o'clock, you're probably like, okay, what's next to do? So we're having, this is hosted by me, okay, this is an advisor. I'm having an after party / birthday party in the city. It's going to be at Schroeder's, 240 Front Street, okay? And ask around, I think people know where to go. So you guys are welcome from 9 to 11. I've got drink tickets for you guys, you know, food there. And even though you're underage, you can still go because it's a restaurant bar. So make sure everything's good.
Oh, I did want to mention too, so the head monster Noah has been supporting our pageant for 20 years. So he's the one who provides the scholarship for our top 2 title holders. And he's actually rushing back from Las Vegas to come to the event today. So he'll get here, I think maybe around 5:30 or so. So we'll get to meet. You know, we're really appreciative and grateful for his 2 decades of support.
Definitely try to stick around and meet Noel. He's been amazing support. And the MC tonight, you also see another one of our alumni, Christine Hara. She is a second princess, I believe, of 2016. So she'll be here as well, too.
Oh, I think that, I don't know if any of you came with your parents. We would love to meet them, answer any questions they might have. Thank you. And thank you for the early birds coming for the reception here. I might put you to work. Thank you.
So just remember, the promo code is MAC33. It actually ends on Friday the 13th. Okay?
And I'm sorry, you know what? Ladies, just come join the pageant. I know you'll love it. When you get accepted, you get the orientation. You could drop out last minute too. You have an out on it. Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to wrap up here so we can get started with the perfect part. Thank you, guys.